For those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Jerad Larkin. I'm a sales rep with Chicago Title, host a lot of classes, events. Lately, it seems like I'm doing about 7 to 9 of these a month. So we've been busy. It's been good. But whether it's me teaching or supporting someone else in the real estate space to talk about something of value, my goal always is for you to leave that room and say, hey, that was worth my time. That was worthwhile, right? If Jerad hosts other classes or events, I'd love to come back. It's not really ever a sales pitch, right? We want to provide value. This is my family. It's my wife. My son is now 3. My twin girls are almost 11 months. It's crazy. And my niche where I really lean on is marketing, social media, video, AI class. Did a Google class. That was fun. So I'm just kind of always trying and testing things, as some of you have heard about with just the Fiverr stuff, with paying people in Bangladesh. So that way I can support you. At the end of the day, I'm in sales, you're in sales, right? At the end of the day, my target audience is real estate professionals, but it's fun because I get to try things in my business and then share it with all of you, teach class on it or share it and support you. With that said, I get it. You all have title relationships. And if you're happy with that current title company, why would you leave? I understand that. That's where I have to come in and honestly just provide enough value, hopefully, to say, hey, right, Jerad can help me. He's going to support me. Obviously, we have to do a great job on the actual title and closing side. That's just an expectation. But beyond that, I truly believe if that's all your title company is providing, I don't think that's enough. And I'd love to have a conversation with you if you're open to it. So these are a bunch of other classes I'm teaching. Stay tuned. Everyone got the email from Eventbrite? Somewhere else. I think that was the only, literally, I was very lazy. I just sent the email once. So you all got it. Okay. That's the other thing too. If you do get my Eventbrite emails, I try not to spam you. So if you get an email from me for an event, I just send one email. That's it. You either click it and sign up or you don't and move on. I'm not going to send a bunch. So just so you know. Okay. All right. Moving on here. Chicago Title 30-second spiel. Yes, we would love to close with you. We are the oldest and largest title insurance provider in North America. We have that financial backing. All that stuff matters. We're a direct underwriter. But honestly, when it comes down to this, I always say it just comes down to people, right? Whether in your real estate, you're in lending, right? You're in title escrow. It just comes down to people that actually give a shit, right? And they care and they're going to do a great job. They're going to go above and beyond. You're able to contact them, all that stuff. They have to do a good job. And then also has to be a good personality fit, right? Not every closer is for every person. So it's about doing that. I always say my most important job is matching a new client up with the right escrow officers. I have to play matchmaker. I have to make sure it's the right fit, because if it's not the right fit, it's not going to work. So it's the most important thing. So we're going to do a great job for you. Beyond that, we're going to provide a ton of value and other things. We do classes, we do events, we do fun stuff. So moving on. Who's farming right now? Solid group. Okay. Raise your hand up a little bit higher. If you've been farming for at least 1 year, keep your hand up. If you've been farming for at least 2 years, keep your hand up. 1, 2. If you've been farming for at least 3 years, keep your hand up. It's a firm hand. 4, 5.
Well, since I started.
6, 5,
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, nice. And from farming for, holy cow, right? 5 or more years. Do you believe in it? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? Are you on the fence? Are you undecided? What are we thinking?
I'm doing it because, if somebody's telling me to drink it.
Okay. Okay, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. 5 years. Okay. And when I say farming, that's obviously thrown around. It's a loose term, right? That can be mail. It can be door knocking. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Come on in. You guys here? Perfect. We got cookies. We got Celsius drinks. Get hyped up. Farming. And then the rest of you, it sounds like 1, 2 years, or maybe you're thinking about farming. Is that kind of where we're at? All right. It's way more fun when people talk. Farming strategy. So direct mail. What else? Door knocking, open houses. Involved in the HOA, pop buys. You do Buffini? Are you Brian Buffini? Yeah.
And I drink that.
Yeah. Okay. You got your Popeyes?
Huh?
You got your Popeyes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you community events?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Got their contact info?
Yes.
Okay. Email?
Most of the stuff.
They on HomeBot?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Next question. Why are you here today? we're gonna talk about a ton of stuff. Is it certain things? Is it social media? Is it events? Is it ideas? Is it, because we're gonna kind of cover it all. Anyone want to share? Yeah, here we go. Front row and center. I love it. Love it.
Share. I think I'm struggling with all of this.
Okay.
I feel like there's a shiny new object everywhere I turn.
There is.
And I get frustrated by that. And like I said, I do the theme thing is, I value pop buys. And it's like, I'm not getting too much ROI off any of this. So I'm needing what else is out there, I guess.
Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I've been seeing a lot, and I've been taking classes on digital marketing. And just a lot right now that's on social media with digital marketing and affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Just getting people in your wheelhouse, getting in front of them, staying as a reminder to them in any industry that you're in, finding your niche with it and being in front of people. And so figuring out how to continue on with the mailers that I have.
Okay.
I have a decent success rate with that.
Okay.
Then also combining digital marketing, new age, branding myself with real estate to make sure that just like there's no gaps, there's no holes in it.
Okay. Thanks. Love it. Question on direct mail. How often are you sending? Is it
Once a month.
Once a month for 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, give or take,
Once a month for 5 years?
Well, there's a large neighborhood I'm farming, and so I might do 3 or 4 months at a time in one section, 3 or 4 months at a time in another, and then about 3 times a year the whole neighborhood at once.
Okay.
Well, are you familiar with the name?
What's that?
Are you familiar with the theming?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just sends it out to you, and all you have to do is put it out
he gives you the,
it's pretty sweet.
He gives you the
CRM.
The gifts and the ideas, and don't forget to ask for your business. Are you going to work with me on your next transaction?
But at the same time, I get responses from my peeps that the millennials are like, it's in the trash. The old people like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I love mail. I'm weird, but I love mail.
I get feedback that, it's 6 one half a dozen of the other.
Got it. Okay. I love that. Great. Thank you. So here's the deal. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff. We're going to talk about, this is bugging the heck out of me. I'm going to move this. Bear with me here. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff. Direct mail ideas, mailers that are incredibly targeted, email, social media ads, because I think if you're going to do farming and spend money on direct mail, you need to also run targeted social media ads. I'm going to show you Title Toolbox, which is our most popular resource, where you can pull contact information and nitty-gritty stats on just about any type of property within the United States of America. So it's not just Colorado, it is all the United States. Chicago Title, full disclosure, subsidizes the cost for all of you. So if you want a free account, we'll get you signed up. You can pull farm lists. You can pull all sorts of data. Maybe I shouldn't have unplugged that. That might have been a bad idea. I think we're going to go back. We're going to go back to this, okay? And just pretend I didn't do that, hopefully. And that's kind of the game plan. All right. Source. What do we think this is? I think this might be 2. There we go. All right, moving on. What about circle prospecting? You get a listing, you're going to like micro farm it. I'm going to blitz it, do like 1, 2, 3, 4 campaigns, right? Coming soon, listed, sold, brag about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of excitement with that. The neighbors love like getting it. I did an open house 2 weeks ago, and the next neighbor came right in. He was like, "It's so considerate of you to take the time to do that." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I just watch a show with my son and pull mailers and stuff envelopes.
That's awesome.
But then the follow up too. People want to know when you just kind of stay in the loop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that. If you are doing this or thinking about doing it, just if you ever need a list within that system Title Toolbox, if you don't have access to it or if you need this data, all the agents that will reach out and they'll have this objective and they'll say, hey, give me the whatever. I want to mail to 200 homes closest in the neighborhood. That's fine. But if you're going to do that, I would encourage you to use this system or reach out to me and we'll pull the 200 closest homes that are most likely to sell. in the surrounding area. I'm like, if you're going to gamble and throw money, you might as well have the best data. At the end of the day, right, it's data and it's marketing. That's what really we're going to break it down to, right? Is do you have the best data that has the highest probability of converting? And then what the heck is your message? What the heck are you sending? What is your call to action? What does that even look like? Where is someone even going to look at your mailer, open the envelope, read your message, take action? Right. That's what we're going to break it down to. Guys, I'll email this after. You don't need to scan that thing. We'll just keep moving on here. But we're going to go ahead and farm a neighborhood here. So let's just kind of dive into just the direct mail side of things, the data side of things. So first things first, this is honestly the hardest part, is just identifying your farm area. What up, Miranda? Come on in. Guys, this is Miranda, by the way. Miranda, how is parking? Terrible. Okay. Pro tip, west side of the building, by the Key Bank, cross Mall and Finch. There's like 12 spaces there. And I've never had an issue parking there. I tell everyone this, so I've one day I probably will have an issue. But I'm with Chicago Title. There's 6 spots for Stewart Title. I'm just saying, I've been parking there for 7 years and they haven't told me. There's some spaces there. All right. Miranda, by the way, is a videographer. I've been working with her now for 2 months. And if you all need a videographer or need a backup videographer, she does listings, she does shoots, she does so many stuff. She creates content. She's been coming out with me shooting content from my classes, events, speaking gigs. So Miranda's going to pass out some marketing material, right, Miranda? That's right. We're going to support Miranda. All right, back to this. So does anyone know, like, who's new to farming, and like, do you know where you're going to farm? Or okay, we're thinking about it. Okay, no, I'm doing it. You're doing it. Go. Good. That's the right attitude. If you don't know where you're farming, or ideally, if you need somewhat of an idea, I would always encourage you, right, is it to be somewhere near your work, where you work, or somewhere where you live, right? Because you need to be in that. And when I say farming, it's a loose term, right? It's beyond just direct mail. It's being in that neighborhood. It's doing events. It's being face to face, because that's what's going to convert. I think all this mailer stuff is great and that can convert. But I think if you want to up that level of really connecting with someone, you need to be in it. And if it's not near you and it's a pain in the ass to go there, right, that's going to be a bit of a struggle. With that said, though, we do want to be, it's an art and a science, right? We want to be in an area that's going to be worthwhile and have those stats. So what we want to do is we want to look at what the heck is the turnover rate in that neighborhood. And basically what that means is in the last 12 months is how many homes are selling. What does that calculation look like? Okay. Now, there's a lot of numbers that are thrown out there, and again, it's an art and a science. And some general rule of thumb I'll give you, in my opinion, from what I've read and studied, is we want at least a 7% turnover ratio, right? And that's based off of the number of homes that we're looking at that are selling within the last 12 months. Now, that number, of course, can be high or low, because the other component that you have to take into account is, like, what's the median or average home price in that neighborhood, right? Because depending on what your personality style is and your level of, I guess, gambling is like, are you willing to sacrifice and maybe have a lower turnover ratio and there's less homes selling in a neighborhood and maybe it's near you, but it's a higher price point, right? Maybe they're selling, at $1 million plus and you're like, I just got to get one, right? So again, it's both ways. I know an agent that does that. She's targeting a very nice neighborhood and the turnover rate's low, but she's a gambling woman and she's going all in. All right. Another factor to take into account is when you're looking at turnover ratio and stuff, be aware of new build communities. Okay. If you're looking at an area with new builds and there's stuff selling and you've got that mapped out in the area, that's going to totally inflate your numbers and screw it all up. So just be aware, your turnover ratio at like 20% or higher might just be an issue. So just be aware of that. Okay. So turnover rate, right? Average sale price, how many homes are you hitting? And then also just like, again, art and science is demographics. Who the heck are you mailing to? Is it a bunch of old people? Is it a bunch of millennials? Because that's going to affect, right, the decision and behavior analysis of if they even read your mail or do I take an action, right? Again, like, I know I'm 34. I love mail, but also I'm teaching this class, so it's fun. But like my wife, she'll immediately just throw stuff in the trash. I'm like, no, give it to me. I want to look at it and read it. Oh, it's a realtor, another realtor. Take me off your list. You're wasting money. You're wasting money. Come to my class. Right? And then also, what's your budget? How much are you willing to spend, right? I'll have agents that'll reach out with pull lists, and I'm like, all right, well, how many homes? Like, I don't know. I'm like, well, how much do you want to spend? And it's amazing, right? Farming, sending direct mail once a month, Statistically, it's crazy. I mean, they say every 3 weeks, right? And most agents will do a month. I think if you are going to commit to sending direct mail and you're not doing at least once a month, maybe at the worst case you're 2 months, you might want to consider not doing it because you have to be top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. Did you all hear about that story of that marketing company that like took over a neighborhood? They went out and surveyed this neighborhood, and they basically made up a fictitious real estate agent. And they said, who's like the local real estate agent here? And they were like skewed answers, no real thing. And then they went out and they sent mailers every single week for like 8 weeks straight. That's it. Just like 8 of them. And then they went back and surveyed the neighborhood. They're like, who's your, like the realtor in this neighborhood? And they're like, this person, which is a completely fake person. Right. So the point is, it's like, we live in this fast paced environment where it's like hard to stay in front of people. And if you're going to spend money, I mean, direct mail is expensive in my opinion, from all the marketing avenues and things you can do. Right. Let's just say on average, if it's $1 a mailer, 80 cents a mailer, right. We want to be very focused and make sure that our budget allows for it. So think about what your budget is for the month, for the year, and also take into consideration that it needs to be other things, including, I think, Facebook and Instagram ads, which we'll talk about, which are very cheap, fortunately, but events, right? Other things, pot buy stuff, all those other things that should take into consideration. Any questions so far? Good. Okay. Look at your competition. Has anyone done this one? Oh, it's a fun one. So I'll show you how to do this real quick. So we all probably have access to the MLS, right? So within the MLS, within the residential search section, we can actually go up here to this mapping button and we can click on map if it wants to work. And we could zoom in. Where the heck am I? We could zoom in. Let's go over to Wash Park right here. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Okay, let's go out. And we can actually take this tool right here, this polygon tool, yeah, this one. And let's just say we want to form this side of Wash Park and grab all these homes. Cool. And now I'm going to go back to my criteria. And I just want to see anything that's kind of listed or sold in the last 3 years. So I'll just pop this to 1,000 days. 0 to 1,000 days pending, 0 to 1,000 days closed. And then I'm going to my results, 327 properties in the last 3 years or so. I want to go back more than 1 year. I want to see if an agent just got lucky 1 year. I want to see if there's consistency. And then within here, if you didn't know this, you can add and remove columns. So you could insert the listing agent. If you didn't do this already, I did it. It's right here. And then I can sort this alphabetically. So now I can see and just go down, and see if there's someone who's just dominating, right? And their name is just coming up on repeat over and over again, right? Again, random numbers, stats, the rough stat from what I've been coached on is if someone has about 20% or more market share in a farm neighborhood, it's very hard to break into that neighborhood. Honestly, I've only seen it once when looking at these. But I think this is good to know. It's also just good to kind of look at your competition and just know who the heck you're up against, right? And maybe spy on them, kind of see what they're up to, So that's how you look at your competition, right? I think all these steps are important, right? Before you dive in and start going full in with your time and money on farming. Okay. I want to jump now over into Title Toolbox. Okay. This is our most, as I said, this is our most popular resource at Chicago Title. What it looks like is basically this when you sign in. And like I said, you can pull data on anywhere within the United States of America. Okay, let's just zoom in here. Where are we at? We're in Glendale, somewhere down here. All right, we're going to farm this. So there's 3 tabs up here when you are in this system. There's property search, where you can just do one-off property searches, pull data on properties. And then there's farming and statistics. Under farming, a couple of buttons here. The first 3 are the ways that you can search for areas within the mapping feature, right? So radius search, right? Boundary search, we draw, and then area search, which is more like a vague, wide search when we're starting big and then we're trying to become granular. Down below that is saved farms and saved searches. Agents that I work with, if they don't want to figure this out, I just ask them to tell me what they want for their filters. And what's cool is I have an administrative account. I can go ahead, map it, filter it, and then just save it in their account. They can log in, download all the data, purchase the phone numbers, emails, etc., and use it. Last but not least, this is a fun one down here. This is the upload. If you have any sort of existing lists that you've kind of built or acquired, and you have their addresses, and you're missing contact information, or maybe just it's outdated data and you want to update it and see what's out there, you can actually take your list, you can update it, upload it in here. It will automatically find the addresses and then fill in, you can purchase the contact information for that data. Okay. Last but not least, this is the statistics tab. So if we wanted to look, right, let's just pretend, right, say we live somewhere within here, and we're like, I have no idea where the heck I'm going to farm. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of look maybe in this general area at stats. I can come in here and I can look at single family res, condos, etc. And I can say, all right, I want to farm at a minimum of, say, 50 homes or more. Oh, it just did it for me. Whoops. 50. Okay. I can even plug in, hey, I want a turnover rate at like, I don't know, 4.5 or higher. I can even filter out if there's areas that have non-owner occupied, we can take into consideration that ratio, right? And again, this all comes back to your strategy, because I know agents that will farm out of state, people that have rental properties, and they'll farm and they'll hit all the people that are outside of Colorado. There's so many things you can do. But staying on track here, if I want to search that, right, it's going to run the numbers and it's going to quickly show me the different areas that now I can kind of hone in on that have a high enough turnover ratio, as well as, all those stats. So we could just say maybe this filing over here based on property track is at 16%. That seems pretty high. I'd be curious if there's some new builds in there. Average price point is 1.2. That's looking pretty good right now. Maybe I'll farm that one, right? But this is the strategy, and it's nice. It filters it from turnover ratio down. That's how I have it set it up. That's got to be that Lowry one that's got those new builds in there. And this is how you would do that. And then you can kind of hone in on these. You can select them. You can get the detailed statistics. I also like that it shows the average year owned over here, as well as the non-owner occupied ratio of people that are living in these, because that's an important consideration. So this all takes time. It's exhausting, but I think it's important if you're gonna commit to it, right? And it's gonna be something you do. Any questions so far? How we feeling?
Can you do a mass email from that site, or do you have to put it somewhere else?
Mass EO. No, but we're going to get into that. Good question. Stay tuned. Okay. So next up, here's what I want to show you. Let's say you figured out your farm area, right? So let's just get out of this. Whenever I'm trying to pull a farm area for someone, I like to use this boundary tool. So I'll just zoom in. Let's go back over here. And let's just go to this hood right here. And now I'm just clicking. I'm taking this area. I double click. This takes a little bit of finesse to get it right. 1, 2. Get count. And whenever you run any sort of search within here, this tab is going to pull up. And it's always going to be the same parameters. Working from left to right, from general to property characteristics to assessment and taxes to other to custom filters. Everything from left to right up until custom filters is completely free. Chicago Title subsidizes the cost behind the scenes. Go crazy. All right. Once you click over here in the Premier Data, this is where it will cost you a little bit of money. All right. So let's work left to right. General, basic stuff right here. If you want to target owner-occupied homes, right, I'd turn that filter on, or don't. Right. Moving on, other things we've seen. We've got single family res. We've got condo. We can remove condo if we wanted to. Just so you all know in here, right, there's literally every type of property. This can also be valuable for you if you have a buyer that has certain specific needs. I always give the example, you got a buyer that wants to buy equestrian properties, right? So you could pull all the equestrian homes and essentially, purchase the contact info and reach out to these people and say, I have a buyer. But take that concept and apply it to if you have a unique buyer. All right. Of course, you can get filtered down depending on what you want to do, right? You can say, hey, I only want, if you have too many homes, say you got 500, you want to get down to 300, that's your budget. We could say, let's filter out people that own the home for so many years. So many strategies, so many things in here. You can even filter by their assessed value. So maybe you're farming a neighborhood that has an array of properties that are going to eventually get, scraped or flipped. And then you got whatever, $1.5 million to and you want to have to go after the $1 million+ ones. You could add that as a filter and say, I only want to go after properties that have an assessment above this amount. Okay. Another approach is just saying, I'm going to be the mayor of this hood, right? I'm going after all of them. Like, I live here. I'm going to be here for the next 10 years. I don't care. I want everyone to know me. That's also a strategy I've seen as well. Last but not least, this custom filters tab. This is a fun one. Like I mentioned earlier with the micro farming, if we're just going to like do a blitz campaign on a listing, right here, next seller, we could turn that on, right? And we could say, I only want to go after the people that are statistically most likely to sell in the next 12 months. Okay. And again, this, I'll be honest with you guys, this isn't like fancy predictive analytics. We have other partners that do that, where you can pull like really, like I call it creepy data on people that are going to sell. But it's real, right? It's diamonds, diapers, divorce, dumpsters. I don't know what the dumpsters stand for. I guess you're throwing stuff out. Yeah, I know. You're fine. But what they do is they take statistically based on the area that you've selected. If they're looking at the history of this area and when people sell on average, right? Say on average, they own that home for 6, 7, 8 years. Say it's 7 years. They're going to give you the homes that are at the 6-year mark, the 7-year mark, and the 8-year mark. Okay. So it's not like crazy scientific, but that's how they do it. And I think that's, again, something to leverage versus just pulling a random 200 homes and hoping something happens. Okay, so that's the next filter tab. Another fun one is empty nesters. This is people who've owned the property for 30 plus years, 3 bedrooms or greater. I know some agents that are targeting that. They're working with maybe the older demographic, and they're going after that empty nester community. Okay, jumping over here into the Premier tab, what this is where we start spending a little bit of money. The most popular tab is going to be your phone numbers and your email addresses. Okay, phone numbers are 5 cents per record. Emails are 7 cents per record. 12 cents per record all in. So in theory, every 100 homes, if there was a perfect match, $12. I love this. I've used a ton of other services before this. What I like about this is there's no monthly fees. There's no annual fees. You could come up in here and literally pay 12 cents for one property. Whereas other services and sites, they get you get buy credits, all that stuff. So I really like that. Also, too, for those data nerds in here, this data is pulled from CoreLogic, which is considered the cream of the crop when it comes to high quality data. That matters, right? If we're going to pay for something, let's get accurate information. All of the phone numbers and emails are, they're not stored anywhere. It's all live data. So when you do submit a request to purchase anything within here, you need to wait. You need to wait. It's going to send you a follow-up email saying, hey, we found whatever, 100 phones, 200 emails. Now download it. Some agents have jumped the gun, downloaded it too soon. They only got half the data. If you do anything with leads, there is a whole lead section. You can get crazy with this. Pick your lead. It's going to vary county to county. It's going to vary where you are. Leads cost anywhere 5 cents to 75 cents per lead, depending on the type of lead that you're going to go after and the area that you're in. A fun tab that I feel like has come up a lot lately, whether it's looking at subject to deals, looking at creative ways to get into homes, is this tab right here, which is your mortgage info tab. So you can filter homes in a variety of different ways, whether it's their LTV, how much equity do they have in the home. We can filter and only pull homes that have so much equity. We can filter by the loan type, right? Whether it's FHA, VA, etc. We can filter by mortgage rate, right? If it was a good time to refinance and rates were, we could filter literally by, hey, we want rates above this certain percent, etc. You can even filter by lender name. So just know all this is in here. I'm just kind of giving you the buffet of all this stuff. You pick and choose what you need. Okay, that's Title Toolbox. Questions? Good? All right, moving on. Okay, next up, strategize. What are we doing? We're sending direct mail. We're doing in-person stuff, events. We're going to run Facebook, Instagram ads. We do text campaigns, email campaigns, open houses, events. And then let's execute. Let's automate a few of these things out because we can do that and move on. So we've done all this. We've identified our farm area. We've looked at our competition. We've strategized. We are now going to execute. Okay, direct mail. Here are some of my favorite direct mail companies. Okay. It's funny. Title companies, I mean, I think a few still do, but title companies used to be like the go-to resource for direct mail. And I still get a couple of like older agents that'll be like, all right, you're going to send my mailers out for me. And I'm like, nope, nope, we're a title company. So here's what we decided. We're like, we could do this, but honestly, it was a huge pain in the ass. Let's just find other companies that just do it better and just partner with them and then just refer people to them. So that's what we do, okay? There's a few on here that are actually partners of ours. There's a few on here that I've just come across. The first one I want to show you is Core Fact, okay? Core fact, who's heard of core fact? Raise your hand. Just a couple. We'll jump into it real fast. Core fact does a ton of stuff. What I like core fact for is just really one thing, and it's going to be that home estimate postcard. So I kind of call them like the HomeBot of direct mail, right? So if you understand HomeBot, this is the HomeBot of direct mail. I think if you're going to pay the money for it, I think you should have something like this with the map on it, right? So that when Nick receives a mailer from Jerad, the real estate agent, it's Nick's home lit up on actual street boundaries with his home, with actual properties that have sold around his home within the last 12 months, right? And then if Nick's curious to know how much his home is worth, he can scan this QR code, and then it's going to give you like a rough value range on his home. Guys, I just want to hit this real hard. That value report, when you scan that, is not accurate. Okay. Like it's not perfect at all. It gives you a range. What's cool though is they let you play with it. You can say, my home is better. And you can scan it if you want to look at it, right? My home's better or worse. It's going to give you a range. The whole point is just for you, the real estate agent, to now know, because these are all trackable QR codes. Every single mailer has a unique trackable QR on it. You can now know who the heck is looking at your stuff, which is great intel. All right. So now you're like, all right, now I can kind of lean in and be more, again, like laser focused on the people that are looking. They're somewhat curious to know how much their home is worth. Good so far? Makes sense?
So where's the data, like when they scan that and it's coming up with this valuation that you're already saying is like not necessarily accurate? Like where is that pulling that from?
Couldn't tell you. It's a range. Again, it's not perfect. But yeah, agents always like to say, well, it's bad. It's a bad. I'm like, okay, well then give them a CMA, right? Like reach out to them and find something to give them a more accurate valuation that's going to be valuable to them. Yeah. I think it's more of a marketing tool and a resource for you to now know who the heck is looking at this stuff. Also, if you use CoreFact consistently in mail, it will rank these people like 1 through 5, depending on who's clicking stuff and clicking around. So it's tracking them too, like when they're taking actions with this system. Okay, that's CoreFact. That's why I like it. I also like it because there's no sign-up fee. It says plug and play. Like you could sign up and do their whole 12-month campaign, or like use it for a month and try it out and be done with it. So I like that. Pricing, real quick. Let's just say we'll go pricing off of maybe $125 to $499 mailers. If you wanted to do marketing mail, standard class, jumbo mailer, 8.5 by 5.5, you're looking at about 92 cents a mailer all in. How much are y'all paying for mailers?
Well, I mean, I have to buy envelopes and I have to step in my
Oh,
stamps.
yeah.
So,
You're going all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, on an average, it's all inclusive with the CRM and some other.
Got it.
So about $200 a month.
Okay. How many homes?
About 100.
Okay. Yep. Got it. Buffini, that's right. But I would imagine your open rate's probably higher because it's so...
I hope so. I'm really bad at.
Yeah. Let's talk about some targeted approaches. So these are all like plug and play. Hey, I can just hit these many homes and be done, right? And it's easy. But let's talk about like really granular, laser targeted. And I'll cover these the rest in the back. Anyone follow Tom Ferry at all? Or listen, I'm a big fan. I was just out at his elite coaching event in Florida about a week ago. And it's cool because he's always sharing some cool stuff that's working. Some stuff that's working, again, like he's a massive real estate coach. He works with some of the biggest teams in North America. So he has the data and the results of agents that are sending and doing mass amounts of this to like back up what he's saying. So if you want to be super laser targeted, here's a couple of ideas. One thing that's working right now with an agent, a couple agents and teams, is they're sending out a mailer, and this is actually not super targeted. This is just unique. They're sending out a mailer. I made a video on this with just the QR code. It's like their colors, which are like purple and white, and then literally just the QR code. And it says like one thing, like I forget what the call to action was, but like, hey, if you're curious about your home, scan here. And that's it. No headshot of them, no talking about how they've been in the business for 55 million years, blah, 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 blah. It's literally just the QR code. And people are scanning that thing like crazy. And I always push it back to that Super Bowl ad that happened a couple of years ago with the QR code for the crypto company that just went around the screen for 30 seconds and like it just went nuts, right? I think it's just that curiosity factor. So that's one cool idea that I've seen that's been working. If you want to be highly targeted, here's another idea. Especially if you're taking the time to mail them yourselves, stamp them, whatever, is, I'm just going to go here. Check this out. Let me ask you, have you ever received a piece of mail and the mail is inside of a clear envelope? I haven't either. Right? And that's kind of the point, right? Is this is another thing that's working is clear envelopes. If you're mailing something, even if it's Buffini and they've already got stuff set up.
But wouldn't you just most people are just 76 that?
I don't know. If you want to get something out to someone, they first just have to open it, right? Put whatever the heck you want in that clear envelope. But here's the idea that they've been doing that's working, especially if you're doing these individually. They'll go on and they have a very targeted approach to the homes they're hitting, but they'll print out the Zestimate one by one for each home. And what they'll do is they'll print out that Zestimate on one page. Okay. They'll then circle it and put an X through it. Then they'll take a sticky note and they'll put on there and it'll say wrong. And then it'll be like, contact me to find out why, or call me, whatever the call to action is. Then they'll put that inside of a clear envelope and they'll mail that to people. I don't know, would that, everyone's different, right? Would that get your attention if you saw that in the mail? It would get my attention. I've just never seen a clear envelope either. So I think you could apply that to really anything. But again, it's just like, I think it's pattern interrupts. This is the marketing side, right? You got the art, you got the science. This is the art. This is the pattern interrupt. How can you do something different so that people are going to be like, all right, what is this? Right? Or even not even that, like throw it in, I don't know, throw it in a purple envelope. I don't know, just like think different versus people always getting the same stuff over and over again. So that was another targeted one. Another thing I've heard that's working is if you have a listing, right, and you want to blitz campaign or push out right after, you want to do some sort of direct mail piece that is going to talk about, right, you sold it, how great you are, what you did. I think whenever it comes to all that stuff, we should be thinking about the story, right, of, hey, I met the sellers and this is the struggles that they had and this is what we had to do to fix the property up and get it ready. And this is why we were able to sell it for more than this, right? Think about that. Another thing that's working, though, is you got to plan this out. You got to think ahead. But before you sell the property, print out this estimate, okay? And then hopefully, ideally, when you sell the property above the estimate, you then mail out the Zestimate as well as a piece that talks about how the Zestimate's wrong, how you need to ignore that and talk to me about your home evaluation and how I'm going to help you sell your home for the best price. Okay. So again, other ideas here. Questions? This company hit me with an Instagram ad. Robot Inc. Marketing. Again, just doing something differently. And I got on a call with the owners because they just thought what they were doing was cool. And it's basically a bunch of real estate investors that I guess have a bunch of robots that are writing on envelopes and doing this. But what they are claiming, I don't know how the heck they claim a 99% open rate, but these are really good stats. But what they're doing, if you want to do something different, switch it up, is they will mail out an envelope, right, with a USA stamp, a flag stamp on there. They do the robots to write the letter on the inside, on the outside, but it does, somewhat look real to most people. That looks kind of handwritten there. And then you can control what the letter is. Now, it's been a minute since I've talked to them, but if you do end up signing up with them and mention me, they will drop that price. If you're doing at least 500 though, they'll drop it down from $1.80 a piece down to $1.10. And just so you guys also know, like if I share anything, like I don't get like a kickback or an affiliate link. I don't want that that's not worth it to me. I want you to know if I'm sharing something to you, it's because the goal is to help you. So yeah, that's the deal there. $1.10 a mailer if you do at least 500 through Robot Inc. Okay, this is the mailing company that I use. It's called Thanks.io. Thanks.io, what I like about them is, again, it's trackable individual QR codes, and you control where the heck the QR code goes. That was the issue I had with CoreFact. They're good with the home valuation, the QR code, but they won't let me change the URL where I want to send the QR code and have them land. So I had to find this company. Again, I think they're kind of past the startup phase. I found them about 2 years ago. But basically, you set up an account, you can come back here. They also do kind of that handwriting style Let me click on one of these. Let's just say it's this one. You can design it in Canva within the system, which honestly I don't recommend because sometimes it bugs out. Just create your mailer in Canva and then upload it here, which is what I do. Let's just say it's this one. You're invited to Headshots and Shots. Continue. It will autofill all of the data. You can do the handwriting style. They've got tons in here, right? Whether you want the Sharpie or the pen, which is cool. That's fine. It's a little different. But what I like about it is it's got that trackable QR code, and I can send them to anywhere, whether it's my website, my blog, my YouTube, right? I could have them follow my Instagram. I control where that's going, and then I know exactly who the heck is scanning this. So that's why I like Thanks.io. Does anyone send gift cards? You ever do that? No? Yes? Maybe? Another thing I like about them is they have partnerships with tons of companies that you've probably purchased gift cards through. And I forget what the stat is, but it's not good. The number of like gift cards that are like sent to someone and they're just like redeemed. Like I look at my wife, like I open up her wallet and there's like 50 gift cards in there and they've like been in there forever, you know? And I'm like, Abercrombie and Fitch, okay. But you spend this money and you send it out and then people don't even use it. What's cool about this is the way they have the system set up is you can set up an account with these businesses and have like so much money within there. And then you can send out your gift card literally like this with a QR code and they have to scan it and then accept the money and add it into their account as a gift card. So in the end, you're going to save money because not everyone's going to use your gift card. So another creative idea on how you can send gift cards through Thanks.io. Okay. Questions? How are we doing? Good? Okay. This one, you probably heard of them. They're local here. Boomerang DM. Anyone use Boomerang?
I'm considering it.
Okay. Let's talk about it. So this is Boomerang Direct Mail. What they're known for is sending localized coupons, freebies, buy one, get ones that you can essentially, right, send out to your area, your farm area. I see a lot of agents honestly use this for their sphere, their database. I feel like that's been the most common thing I've seen. And they vary from the location that the person lives in, right? So there's going to be different coupons, freebies, whatever, depending on where the heck you live. But here's some examples, right, on stuff they've done, I guess. Oh, wait, go back, right? I think some are good, some are okay. It just depends on the month kind of thing, right? But I think the concept is the same, right? You're trying to be in front of them, right? Maybe that you get a good one, right? I saw one for sushi. I put it up on my fridge, and then it stayed up on my fridge for 8 months, and the coupon expired. Forgot to use it for the sushi, but guess who was up there, right? Nick White. There he is with the sushi. Thanks, Nick. But guess what? I looked at, subconsciously at Nick for 8 months, right? So I think that's, again, it's just kind of outside the box marketing, but I do see agents that will use this and send them to their sphere. Oh, here we go. A little Froyo. Yeah. Pricing is a little bit higher. Let's look at their pricing real quick. Mailed. Yeah, you're about $110 a mailer all in. Yeah, that's Boomerang. Gonna use Boomerang? Yes, no, maybe so.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I used to use them.
Don't like it anymore. You stopped using them.
Correct.
What's the negative feedback?
I used them really early on.
Okay.
I think it was probably for about 2 years. And I did just do it with my sphere.
Yep.
And there were some really good ones in there, like even Old Chicago. Like when they first started out, some of the stuff was like kind of rock star. Like,
yeah.
One was just like a free pizza at Old Chicago.
Oh, dang.
Just because. And
yeah.
People, I had people hit me up on that. But then the feedback that I was getting was that they were doing what you were doing, it's just they weren't using them. And I started hearing that more often than not, and I just stopped doing it because of the cost.
Yeah.
I was thinking like if I shifted gears and I do more client events and do other stuff instead. But I did use it for about probably 2.5 years, give or take.
Yeah.
It mixed results. It mostly was like when I first started out, I started getting feedback, but then it was just like dried out after that. And then when I would follow up with my sphere, like we're supposed to do, I was asking them about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Like I got those, but I didn't use them."
Yeah.
And I started hearing that over and over and over. And then after, dozens of calls like that, it's like, yeah, maybe I should shift gears. So.
Yeah.
But does it matter if they use it, if they put it on their fridge for 8 months?
I mean, not really, yeah. So it wasn't even that. They were just like, I was kind of looking at it going, well, if nobody's really actually using them, and I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I just shifted my costs to be like,
sure.
I was just I give away, like, I have season tickets for like sports, so I give away
lean in
stuff
there.
like that. People like get crazy on stuff.
Yeah.
I just did when I had like 175 people sign up for 4 tickets to a Nuggets game.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of stuff I do now, and I spend money doing it that way. And by the way, I write off the tickets, which is great.
How do you write off? You can't write off entertainment.
I actually go
Because illegally.
Yeah, no. No, so I have to. I actually give away almost all the tickets, and I do it a certain way, and I have other partners and stuff, so it's not just on me. So that's how I do it.
Smart. Yeah.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it was just a shift. So it did work though, and like, I'm serious. When I probably had 20 or 30 people hit me up like, "Yo, bro, this was a free pizza at Old Chicago. Like, it's a $20 pizza for free." And I was like, "Yeah." So they used, and it just kind of changed. I think
Kinda
it's
got
a
it.
little more mainstream.
Got it. Yeah.
And the coupons are still good, but yeah.
Good feedback. Good feedback. And we're going to talk about events because I'm a big fan of events, and I'll tell you why. Well, one more mailer, thank you for sharing, is White Knight Marketing. Anyone heard White Knight? They're local here. We've actually been working with them for a while. Great, really good customer service. This is where if you want, like, hey, set it and forget it. I want to send out my monthly Rockies schedule, Broncos, right? When do all the farmers markets open, right? Where's the places to go, like whitewater rafting or fall festivities, right? They just give you the list of events and things going on for the summertime, for the spring, for the seasons, right? Again, boom, goes up on the fridge. There it is, right? Let's look at it. So this is White Knight Marketing. Again, they're local here in Colorado. I've got nothing but great things to say about them. If we look at pricing real quick, if the chart wants to load, where the heck are they at on their pricing? Let's look. Print. I'm just doing everything at 8.5 by 5.5. So if I wanted all in bulk, it's 200 minimum, 80 cents per mailer. Okay. So there we go. All right. So that's a couple. We talked about Corfax. We talked about Robot. Thanks. Boomerang. Let's talk about email. We've all heard of HomeBot, maybe most of us. Quick refresher, right? HomeBot. I love HomeBot. I've been getting HomeBot. I know about HomeBot since they were like, it was just a few of them. And I've been getting my HomeBot email for about 6 years. And it's just, I think it's, I got a buddy who used to work there. He worked there for 6 years. I don't know what their open rate is. Does anyone know? It's insanely high. It's like 80%.
It's pretty high.
Right? And your standard open rate for email is like what? Less than 5%, very low. I open mine every single month, and I just want to look at it. Does it make sense to refinance? Sorry, Nick. Right? Because it's honest, right? It tells you what you can short-term rent out. And I just think it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Like if I didn't have anything going out on email, and again, like let's talk about just like channels, right? Like I want to be on as many channels as possible. The fact that I can sign up, I can upload up to 500 people and spend $25 a month and send an email once a month on autopilot that people open at 80%. It's like, why wouldn't I do that? That's like cheap.
There's a little trick to HomeBot.
Okay.
I've been using them for a long time.
Yeah.
Like 8 years.
Okay, so you're original. Yeah.
So, you can actually set it up to where it's telling you how, like, I mean, you can see all the stats and stuff, but there's some cool stuff in there to where you can see who's actually active.
Yeah.
And who's really active on there, and it gives you a whole printout of like the top 25 people that you're sending them to.
Ooh.
And literally, I do that every month, and I just hit them up.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's a little trick. So
look at that. We're leveraging.
How cool is that? So it'll literally tell you like these people are like crazy, like you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I am crazy.
I'm just saying, like,
it's okay.
It'll tell me like who's been in there and maybe even more than once. Like the most activity over the last couple of months, and it'll give you a whole lineup of who it is.
Yeah, and
20 or 25 or 30 or whatever it is. So
and they like dangle carrots in there, like tune value and like click here, right? And then gives them an excuse to reach out to you all. I like that though on the data.
And that's so cheap. Like, from a lender. Like, the lender pays so much more than that.
That's how they make their money is off the lenders.
Yeah. It's like,
the
equipment is like $500 a month to have 500 contacts. Maybe 1,000 contacts. I don't know. So, I have a lot of agents on there that do the freemium version, and I'm like, just do the $25.
Yeah. Got it. So you're not signing anyone up on HomeBot. All right, got it.
No, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to talk first.
Yeah. That's gotta be an awkward conversation. They're smart though, right? You get the lenders to pay for it, and then I always talk to those lenders that have HomeBot, and then the agent like doesn't upload their list, and it's been like a year, and they're like, all right, I got to have an uncomfortable conversation with someone.
We upload them for the agent now. Like,
smart. Yeah.
Just be like, hey, we're uploading this to for you.
Yeah. Good idea. All right, now let's hit off my favorite one, honestly. And this is where I would personally spend. And again, we're all different, but like this is where I would spend a lot of my marketing budget is on events, right? I got a buddy, great real estate broker, good guy. And he said something that just always stuck with me. I'll share with you all. Is he's like, all right, if you rank someone 1 through 10, right? 1 is like they have no idea who they are. 10 is they're your best friend, right? They're your advocate. They're gonna obviously support you and tell everyone about you, right? How do you get someone from a 1 through 10? Right. I think like the mailers and the social media and all the top of mind stuff is important, right? And that might move someone from, say, cold audience to warm audience, right? Say it gets them from a 1 to a 2 to a 3 to a 4, maybe a 5 or so, right? It gets them up there. But then he's like, then you got to seal the deal though. You got to be in front of them. You got to be face to face with them. You got to build rapport. It's just different, right? It's different when you have that energy in a room, right? It's honestly the same reason why like I don't offer these classes virtually. People hit me up all the time like, you gonna do a Zoom for this? I'm like, no, you got to show up. Otherwise you can't be here. So thank you all for being here, by the way. But then he says, you get them to an event, you get them to a class, right? You build rapport. The other reason why I love events too, right, is you can invite those people that aren't ready to have a one-on-one with you, right? But they'll come to the class or event, and then you could get them to that one-on-one, right? It's the same thing why I do classes, right? I might meet an agent, they don't want to talk to me or meet me, but maybe they'll come to my class, right? They can have a conversation that can lead to the next level of the relationship. And then he's like, you get them to a 5, to a 6, then he always jokes, right? Not encouraging alcohol, but he's like, then you get drunk with them and they're like an 8 and a 9 and a 10, right? But you get it, right? So there's tons of neighborhood events, tons of things you can do. This is, again, though, it's going to come back to who the heck is your audience, right? Like I'm seeing this now. I mean, I've got twin girls that are 11 months. My son's 3 years old. Like my weekend activities are very different than what they used to be, right? Like I'm not.
We both had twin girls.
Exactly. That's right. I'm not going out. I'm probably not going to an event unless it's like a family event, right? And like I can bring my kids and my wife, because that's not going to happen if it's not.
That kids for a while, then you'll start wanting to go.
Yeah, that's when it comes. That's when it comes back around. All right. So fast forward 5-10 years. But one thing there's tons of ideas. One thing that I think is like a super fun one that I've really enjoyed, because I get to work with a lot of real estate agents and get invited to these things, is I like the photographer one personally, right? I mean, right? Hire Miranda or hire someone, pay them however many, a couple $100, however much they charge, and then you can have people show up. There's a brokerage that I work with that does this at every single event. They do a mass event every quarter where all their agents can invite, and they do it all over the place, whether it's at Botanic Gardens, the zoo, whatever. And they always have a photographer there because they know that a lot of their audience is couples and families or just people that want photos. And they'll always have, hey, here's the time slots. Book a time slot if you want a photographer. And then they get the holiday photos, they get the fall photos. And guess what? I've got that holiday photo printed out, and I got it on my fridge. And it doesn't say their brand or their brokerage on there, but I know exactly where the heck I got that photo from. And I think of them every time I did that photo. So, right, just think of those things too, right, where you can be in front of them. I'm going to throw this one out there. I've been sharing this lately. This is my idea. Oven mitts. How boring is your oven mitt? All right. Guys, you can get like custom cool oven mitts. I just got to show you this, all right, for like $20. You could take an oven mitt, and again, I'm going off topic here. No, I want a custom one. I uploaded my kid's face to mine, and it was like $20. Look at this. You could do dogs. You could do kids. I did this one right here, right? It's like it comes out to $20 after shipping. I got like 2 of them.
It's not creepy at all.
I don't know. Like, come on. Like, it's all out there, right? A photo of a dog or something, and I got that. It's a personal thing. Again, we're getting more personal, right? Or it's like the socks. I always do the divvy up socks. Have you guys seen those?
Custom socks are awesome.
Love the custom socks. Do I have them on? No, just eggs and bacon today. But again, you can upload the dog. And these are, by the way, high quality socks. I'm big on socks. These are socks that last. I'll do tons of custom socks just for friends, families, clients. Yeah, just a fun little gift, right? Anyway, oven mitt, I'm going to keep pushing those out. So you might get an oven mitt. You might get an oven
I
mitt.
feel like you need that affiliate link.
All right, getting back on track here. Events, though. Another thing, like, depending on how hard you want to take the events, it's up to you. I mean, I know one agent who literally, like, again, he'll invite, like, he'll have the neighborhood bar and he'll just invite everyone out. Or he'll do another event and he'll just move it around at different distilleries, bars, neighborhoods, whatever. And he'll just invite all of his database, tell them to bring their friends. And that's how he'll meet and grow his database, right? But tons of ideas up here. Easter egg hunts, pumpkin carvings, giving out the pies. By the way, those Costco pies, you guys ever do that? We did that.
Thanksgiving, we do a reverse pot buy.
Okay.
We invite our clients to come in and pick up pies.
Nice.
And have a little gathering.
Yeah, I like that. But it's like for $8 and the pies are like this diameter, you know? They're nuts. Shredding
I'm a
event?
property manager, and I just re-gift it to a client every year.
I love that. I've never been to a shredding event, but agents that I work with that farm hard, they're like, oh, the shredding events are huge. They'll get like a DJ out there and people just go nuts. I don't know. Junk removal, garage sales. I work with an agent, actually at Weston, Maine, Chris George. He crushes garage sales out at his farm. He'll get like 30, 40, 50, 60 people to like somehow sign up and do garage. It's like a big thing. And he'll get business from it.
Yeah, we did a spring cleaning last year where we got a dumpster pulled up on our driveway actually for like $200-300.
Man.
And the neighborhood just absolutely loved it. We had it filled up in like 2 hours.
It's nuts,
yeah,
right?
It worked out well. It worked out really well.
That's always funny, seeing a dumpster in the neighborhood and you're like, that thing's going to get filled full fast. You know, it's a flip or something. Or
Well, just as we had a lot of water damages too last year with all the rain, that we got a lot of like just knick-knack stuff that people were looking at, and it worked out well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Also, too, like, all these events are great reasons if you're going to send direct mail to send direct mail, right? And like, hey, like, keep this and have, like, whatever, a free ice cream on me at the ice cream truck in August when it's back to school time, right? I know an agent down the Springs that I work with, him and his team. They're big on the food trucks. They do 2 food trucks a month. He dresses up as Santa Claus every year. Like, he like looks like Santa Claus. It's legit beard and everything, like the full on real boots. But he does the food truck thing, which is not cheap, right? And he'll always like throw it out to the neighbor, like, what do you want next month? What do you want next? So people look forward to it. Hey, get on my list so I can invite you to the next one. And you can, choose what you want. So again, just ideas, right? Movie night, I've seen those, been to those, and then the photos. So list goes on. Open houses. And again, remember, like, all this can apply to open houses. Let's talk about a few more things here. All right, Google ads. Yeah, has anyone done Google ads? I know we're talking PPC. I know enough Google ads to just know enough. One thing I like about Google ads is, one, they're incredibly cheap. They're kind of like Facebook ads about 6 years ago. You can still target real estate related ads and do a 1 mile radius. You can target homeowners. You can target people that have these certain behaviors that are likely to move. There's tons of different Google ads. One of the 2 that I'm running that I like to do are display ads. So that's like those ads, right, that just follow you around the internet once you've kind of gone somewhere and just pop up, pop up, pop up. Those are cheap, just top of mind. And then the other ad that I like to do that is incredibly inexpensive is YouTube non-skippable ads. Anyone do those? Heard of those, right? You open up YouTube, that 5-second video plays, you can't click, you got to watch it.
No.
I love those ads because they're cheap. They're cheap for you to run if you set them up. Because the way Google charges you is, if your ad, if it's got to be a video, if it's 30 seconds or longer, they won't charge you unless that person watches the ad past the 5 seconds all the way up until 31 seconds. So if you are very good with your video and your messaging and you can get your point across in those first 5 seconds, it's just free advertising, right? So another conversation for another day. I got to do a class on that. Last but not least, Facebook, Instagram ads. This is the number one thing I wholeheartedly believe. If you are in sales, if you own a business, you need to be running targeted Facebook and Instagram ads to your audience, but you need to do them the right way. Okay, there's a lot of wrong ways to do them. I'll start off with that being boosting a post. Okay, boosting a post, unfortunately, is not going to work out in your favor. You don't have access to all the key targeting metrics that you need access to, such as uploading lists, which we need to talk about, such as custom audiences. So what this looks like is, click here for a walkthrough on uploading your farm list in the meta. Did I make this? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. So just watch this video. Here you go. Cool. Guys, I have tutorials on all of this, by the way, on my website. If you do want to do this, I will be teaching an in-depth class on this, but I'm going to brief over it and what it looks like is back here, we are in what's called the Meta Business Suite. And what you need to do if you don't have a Meta Business Suite is you need to set up a Meta Business Suite. And quite frankly, the hardest part about doing all of this is setting up the Meta Business Suite. But once it's set up, it's a lot easier to go ahead and run your ads. What this is think of this as like the hub to where you can connect your ads account, your Facebook page or pages, your Instagram account or accounts, as well as other stuff. And you can pick and choose how you want to run ads and who you want to run ads to. All right. Why I'm a big believer in this is because if you're sending direct mail, right, at whatever, 80 cents, $1 a mailer, you can run a targeted social media ad, and it's possible they will see your ad and you could spend on average about a half a penny to a penny to show them an ad. So think of this as your digital postcard. Now, how the heck do we do this? We go into Title Toolbox right here, right? And once we've mapped our farm out and all that, we purchase the phone numbers and the email addresses. A lot of agents don't know this, but if you have someone's phone number and your email, you can take that data, upload it into the back end of Facebook Meta, and it's going to find them and target them. Okay, it's never perfect. It's never 100% match. It all comes down to, right, do we have your work email or your MSN email from 15 years ago? And which one do you use to log into Facebook or Instagram, right? But maybe we've got the right contact info and it matches, because when Nick creates an Instagram account, he has to provide his phone number, he has to provide his email, so we can reverse engineer and find these people. Okay, so how this works real quick is when you create your farm and select your farm and you purchase the phone numbers and the emails, say that this is your list. There's an export feature up here where you can actually, there's one for Corefact, there's one for all the farm data, but there's a Facebook one that is specifically customized and formatted just for you to do this. So they know the savvy agents are doing this. So it's all ready to go. It's formatted. You download it. It's a CSV file. You then go over into your Meta Business Suite within here. Boom, boom, boom. And there's this section within here. The whole reason why we set this all up is just for this one tab, in my opinion. It's called the Audiences tab. And this is where we can pick and choose who the heck we want to target. That way we're not spending money and just wasting money on people that, we don't want to hit or don't know who the heck you are. For those of you that are unaware, Facebook got in trouble about 6 years ago with basically fair housing with agents. It was just too good. It was nuts. For those of you that ran ads back there, you could target by income brackets, people most likely to move, and it was like scary good. Scary good. That's all gone. That's all gone. So now when you run a real estate ad, you have to check a box called special ad category. It's housing. When you check that, you then have to run an ad at a minimum of a 15-mile radius. It used to be a mile. And then all of those juicy categories that we used to have access to are gone. Okay. Now, with that said, this is the final loophole. You can still select housing. You can select the United States of America, but you can then get targeted and run ads to custom audiences. What you're seeing right here on this screen is custom audiences. So what this looks like is, for example, that list would be called a customer list. Now look what this is, right? This is where we can use unique identifiers that we can upload from a CSV file. We can upload it into Metaspace, and then they're going to go out and try to find as many of these people that they can, right? The more data you have on someone, the better your odds of that being a good match. Okay, so this applies in so many ways. It applies to that farm area that you downloaded. It applies to your database, your sphere, right? Past cold leads. So all those people you can target. All right. In addition, if you do Instagram, Facebook, right, you can target people that engage with your Instagram account. You can target people who started following your Instagram account. You can hit all these people because, let's be honest, the algorithm is a bitch. And half the time I post something, no one sees it, right? And this is the way of breaking through that and getting and reaching all these people. So we do Instagram account, we do Facebook page. We target people that follow our Facebook page and like our Facebook page. We then run these ads. Now, what happens when we run these ads is we now are able to take these ads and target just those people. And on average, for every dollar that you spend, it's going to reach about roughly 100 to 200 people today. And it's not going to be random people. It's going to be people that you want to target. How am I doing? Make sense so far? Good? Okay. I know I'm moving fast. So check this out. Let's say I want to run, what am I running? Here's something down here. So what does this look like? Say I check this box right here. You can see here, here's ads that I've run. This is my workflow. After I post something on social, I'll let it run organically for about 48 hours. And if it's something that I want to push out and put a little bit of money behind, $1 a day. You can see here, I'm a big spender. I'm spending $2 a day and push it out to my people. So if I look at this right here, I can see this ad. What the heck did I run? I ran something at $2 per day. Now, what you're looking at, it's a little bit overwhelming if you haven't been back here, but you can look at the reach, the impressions, and the cost per result, as well as the amount of money that's been spent. So you can see here, I've spent on this one about $57. Let's just call it $58. The ad has been shown to about 4,763 people that I'm targeting, mostly real estate people. And then the ad's been shown 10,761 times. Oops, I missed a zero. Boom, boom, boom. So what that means to me is I am currently showing this ad on an average about a half a penny per impression, right? So I'm putting this in front of someone for a half a penny.
How long are you running the ads?
It's up to you. And that comes down to how big is your audience? What the heck are you running? What's your time frame? If you can, general rule of thumb, we run these at $1 a day for about a month. This works for any agent. Doesn't matter if you post all the time or if you hate social media, because if you hate social media, I say, can you just come up with like one piece of content per month? And we just take that, run it as an ad at $1 a day, push it out, and then we schedule our stuff out. What's also nice too, right, is we can schedule out our ad copy and our content. So you could have the rest of the year scheduled out and then just not worry about it, but your ads are running in the background to exactly who you want to see them.
Are you seeing better engagement with still photos or videos for the ads? Or
good question. It totally depends. Statistically, video is more engaging. I would encourage you to run video ads. And again, it also comes back to your strategy. This is just top of mind brand awareness versus like lead generation. Top of mind brand awareness, it's all about you, right? It's you talking about something. It's a photo with you with a client at closing. It could be your headshot. It could be a screenshot of your 5-star review. It could be a video where you're sharing something of value. It could be photos from a past event you did. It could be a video from a past event you did. But it's just top of mind. I would try to position yourself from a point of value and adding value so that people just build comfort and trust with you. And it works. It works. I've been doing it for 6 years. Again, my target audience is real estate agents, but like, shoot, I was, so you know Lindsay Ben? Yeah. No? So Lindsay, I've never met her before. I was on a panel with her yesterday and we ended up talking after and she's like, it's funny because I feel like I know you. We've never met before. I follow you on social, but I see your ads, right? I know you've got twin girls and blah, 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 blah. You just can build rapport faster with people, right? We live in this virtual environment. It's 2024, where we can break down those borders and just get to know people through social, through ads, so that they can just know, like, and trust you quicker. So that's this. Guys, if you want, do you want me to send out, if you want to take a stab at it, I'll send out the tutorial on how to do it. It's about 20-ish minutes. Go for it. If you need help, reach out to me. If you still need help, I'm teaching a class on just this coming up actually here. And I don't know when, but whenever it's on this calendar, right here, this class, March 18th, mastering $1 per day, Facebook and Instagram ads, or reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you, have a one-on-one. I've got this pretty dialed where we can sit down in about 1 hour. You'll leave the meeting with your ads running to exactly who you want. I think that's about it here. Facebook, Instagram. I'm not going to go through this. We're going to leave that alone. I'll follow up with you all. Here's what I'm going to do though. Okay. If you want access to Title Toolbox, when you receive the Eventbrite mass email from me, just reply and say, I want access to Title Toolbox and I'll sign you up on the spot. Okay. Cool. Thank you all for being here today. Any last questions before we kind of get out of here?